I'm doing a toy review rush. So I have all these new fusion stuff. The toy line for Cross Wars, screw it, I'm calling it Cross Wars, has been leaking out into Targets throughout the country and stuff. And I have, well, just about everything. So I'm going to go ahead and review each and everything, um, right now. Not in one video, that would be stupid, but 3 videos in one night, because I have nothing else to do today. So, I'm going to be starting off with these. This is a box. I'm going to be reviewing this box for you guys. It's like the best toy in the whole line. Like, I'm not even joking. This is the box for Shoutmon's Digi Fusion line. Now, stupid box. I don't think I had that thing in right. Consider this the American version of the Japanese line. Now, the Japanese line was basically a set of combinable figures that you could use to make actual crosses from the show. I have the Japanese Shoutmon up there. You can see it right there. It's got a lot better box than this does. But when it comes to these, well, at least the Xros Heart ones anyway, are actually better than those up there. It's kind of hard to point something behind you into a camera. So I have Shoutmon's box here because I need a place to put his figure when you make Cross 4. So on the back you basically see Xros Heart line, Blue Flare line, and the Cross Loader, which I will be getting to later. So each figure, and I'm talking about each figure, I mean every toy comes with a card for the Cross Loader. I'll be looking at all the cards when I get to reviewing that. So I'm going to be taking a look at the 3 Xros Heart figures, starting with Shoutmon himself. And now he comes with the Star Blade, and it's not painted, but I had a friend who Sharpied it. He painted the glasses in black, he painted Starmon yellow, and he painted the Pikmon red, and it looked fantastic, even if the picture wasn't very clear on my phone. But it looked better than this. So you can paint it. I mean, it's white. It's white. So you can paint it just fine. Let me take this, and he holds this really well too. Like you just slide it into his hand. He holds it very well, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. But here's Shoutmon himself. He's actually a lot taller than the Japanese version. The Japanese version would be about like that to him, just to give you an idea. He actually does have a good amount of articulation. He's got a good spin his head. It's all ball joints. As you can see, his arms are plugged in with ball joints, and so are his legs and his head, and his tail is just like a little thing you can push in. So honestly, he looks really nice. As a figure on his own, Shoutmon turned out really well. There's no paint missing. Articulation's not bad for a figure that you can pop apart and put pieces onto another figure. It does, unless you put his feet together like so, he's gonna have like a wobble to him if you try to spread his legs out. But it's not that big of a deal. Let's see, just slide a sword in, and he holds it very well, and he actually looks good holding on to it. So I would easily give Shoutmon the best one, but if you want show size accuracy, it's not going to work out because he's actually the tallest of the 3 toys. Let me go ahead and show him off next to Ballistamon, because that's right. So let me put, he's standing on 1 toe. So here's the little lovable Beetle himself, Ballistamon. He's got pegs everywhere. His head is on a real loose joint, no big deal. His feet are on ball joints, but they're really tight ball joints, but you don't need to pop his feet out. Anyway, and his arms, shoulders are on a joint, arms are on a joint. His horn comes off for some reason, but that's easy to put back on. Boink. So there's not much to him. He's the smallest of the 3, which doesn't make any sense, but he looks awesome, actually. aside from the big peg sticking out of his back and his shoulders, but it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't hurt him much. So there's Ballistamon. And then Dorulumon. Oh my gosh, what did they do to you? Well, when your entire body's basically the feet of Cross 3, Cross 4, what are you going to do? He's easily the worst looking of the three. But what do you expect? I mean, the Dorulumon for the Japanese line didn't look any better. His tail is individual segments. You got one that plugs into the back, and you have 1, 2, 3 segments in the drill. It's put in the segments like this for a reason, and I'll show you the reason why later. But he looks just really awkward. Each piece of him and Ballistamon will be needed for Cross 3, Cross 4. The only thing you'll need from Shoutmon is the V. So that's why I kept Shoutmon's box, because I need a place to put his body when I'm done killing him. So, oh yeah, and Ballistamon comes with Cross 4's head. Sadly, Shoutmon does not come with the microphone, which, understandably, because you don't need it for Cross 4, but I mean, I would like to have it anyway. I mean, that one came with Cross 4, but then again, I mean, it came with the mic, but you fuse the mic with Starmon to make the Star Blade, so we should eventually get it anyway. If this line continues on to where we can make Cross 7, we will need the microphone. So let's start doing some crosses here. There's no legitimate way to make Cross 2 and the Dorulu cannon. Basically start everything, just pop Ballistamon's head off. Pop Vmon's V off. I mean, Vmon, oh my god, I'm sorry, Shoutmon, I didn't mean to degrade you like that. Pop Shoutmon's V off, and that's what he's going to look like. This is what Shoutmon's going to look like when you make Cross 3 and Cross 4. And it really doesn't look good. So here's the V, and then you can just plug that up here. And then there's no real way to set Ballistamon's head on like that, so you can just kind of plug it in like that, and that just looks terrible. I haven't experimented to see if there's a way you can actually get his head like this to make Cross 2, but it's just gonna not look right, because look at that. There's no face. It's just, yeah. So let's not do that. You can make Dorulu cannon kind of ghetto your way past it. It's kind of like rip Dorulumon apart and just kind of set his legs, just kind of pop his head off, pull the 2 front legs off, take the tail off, and just kind of open his back up like that, and you can get something that looks kind of like the cannon. But there's no real way to do it, unlike the Japanese line where there was a mode for Dorulu cannon. So, stupid screensaver. So now that we've already gotten everything we need from him, and we already decapitated Ballistamon, what you need to do is pop his arms off. This is all ball joints, by the way. Every single bit of this is ball joints, as you can see. They're really sturdy, so you don't panic about them breaking. So what you need to do with Ballistamon is basically just tilt him like this, move his shoulders forward, and then take his feet and then kind of swivel him up in the back like this, in a V shape type thing. They tell you to set him up like this. So this is the foundation for Cross 3, Cross 4. So that's all we need out of them right now. So let's take Dorulumon. This poor fool is going to get completely torn to pieces. I'm not even joking. So, decapitate him. There's Dorulumon's fat head. Look at this, though. It's really large, and it's probably a lot larger than it should be. So just throw him down there. So now you've got this ugly abomination of a thing. Pop his tail out. Break it into segments. Once again, all ball joints. Just take 2 off and leave it like this. You're only going to need 2 of these. And I'll show why in a little bit. Then pop his legs off, pop his feet off of his back legs. And now you've got this sexy hunk of mess right here. And like I said, you will need to completely dismantle this poor guy. So pop his front legs off too. That sounded nice. And then you've got this little piece right here holding the back on. I don't know if you can see it very well. Well, now you can see it anyway. Herder feetses. So you just pop all that off too. And now you've got a crotch. So this is what Dorulumon should look like when you're done with him. He's literally a pile of body parts, and I don't feel bad for him because after how he looked, he probably wanted it. So, take Ballistamon's plain body and take 2 of those tail pieces and jam them in the shoulder holes. That sounded really nice, like so. And then take Ballistamon's arms and plug them in like this. So now he's got elbows. We're getting somewhere. Take the crotch and jam it right there. You can also make an incomplete cross 3 from episode 1 by just putting the Ballistamon head right there and the V in the head, and you'll have incomplete cross 3. You can make that, but you can't make cross 2. Okay, so where do we go from here? Let's do the legs. So you got these. They stood up. You will need the front legs of Dorulumon. What you're supposed to do, I'm just kicking these things around, is find the corresponding leg part. You can find it by looking at the little indent right there in his leg, because this ball joint is supposed to stick in there. And then you're supposed to just pop that in there. So this foot is hollow. So you do this to give him like a heel or something to his feet. Give him some kind of stability. That's not in right, I don't think. Where's this other one? Nope. I had that right. That's to give him like a heel. It's gonna look awkward on the bottom. Let me see if this other one looks like that too. No, that one's more straight. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I need to pop it on the other side. So this is good. What it's gonna look like. So you're gonna pop his front leg into the back like that, and now you've got stable legs. So now you need the top half of his hind legs, the ones with the drills, and find a corresponding leg and then just plug this in right there, and then same with the other one. Now you've got knees. Go back to this and then just plug them into the crotch area. Plug them into the crotch area. Oh my. Come on, work with me here. Work with me. Work with me. It's getting tall, isn't it? So this is what we've got so far. Oh yeah. And plug the tail in back here. That's a tough one to put it into. So we get stubby tail, which stinks because he looks better with the very long tail, and you won't get that unless you just... If you really want it to be show accurate, buy another Dorulumon and then use the second Dorulumon's tail in here, and you'll have the actual long tail. Because if you keep the long tail, then he won't have correct arms. So lose-lose situation. I'm just going to leave him standing right there. You can see his a mess. Screw it. These I just threw his footsies. These are Darulumon's back legs. You know how Cross 3, Cross 4 usually has like some of Darulumon's legs like running up Cross 4's legs? Well, you don't have those. So I just plug these into the ball joints on the side of his legs here. So I don't have to throw them somewhere. Like, yeah. It's not 100% accurate, but I don't have a place to put those. So I plug them in right there. And there's... Come on. Okay. We're getting there. So take the two heads and then just plug them into the ball joints on the shoulders. Sorry I'm not showing this on camera, but there we go. Darulumon's is a bit hard to get on. It can be the first couple times. Well, Leastamon's is real easy to get on, but Darulumon's can be a bit difficult the first couple times. This is actually my second time building him. FYI, the instructions for making Cross 4 aren't clear at all. They just tell you to put this on here and put that on there. Well, where the heck do you get this thing from anyway? So take Shoutmon's V and just plug it into the old front here. And I'll form the head because of Voltron. And then you just plug it in the top like there. And voila! Cross 3. Now making Cross 4 is actually a real pain in the butt because you have to go out of your way to get this and then jam it in his arm. That was like the most difficult part of this. So here's Shoutmon Cross 4. I'm just going to jab him by his little... He's tall. AO asked a friend of mine last night how tall this thing was. And I went and measured it for him. And he is about 8.5 inches tall. Which is actually pretty nice size for something like this. And it actually turns out really well. You have elbow, shoulder, hips, knee articulation, head moves. These are on ball joints, so you don't really have anything to worry about there. You do have a hip joint here too, but this is the loose part. It can be a bit top heavy, but this joint right here is stable enough to where it won't like just plop over and he'll do like a suicidal front flip or something. So there is Shoutmon Cross 3 and then Cross 4. The only thing I would give... I am the angel of death. The only thing I would really give the Japanese line on the Xros Heart side is that you can make the Dorulu cannon and Cross 2 with the Japanese line. But right now, there's something wrong with this right here. There we go. Go ahead and pull up a picture of the Japanese Cross 4 if you don't have it or if you've never seen it, and compare it to this. The Japanese one is a blocky disaster. It looks terrible. This thing looks much, much better. Like, it looks beautiful in person like this. The only real, like, detail issue that it has is the sword, which it's pure white, so it's easy to paint yourself to make it look show accurate. That's not a problem. It's not like that one up there where all the Pikmin were yellow. Then you had a giant hole in Starmon's mouth, which even when you had the cross 4 blade, he had a big circle in his mouth, which looked horrible. Actually, is there a picture of the Japanese? There's something. That's the Japanese one. See, Shoutmon, you can even see Shoutmon's face hanging out of the front of this. And it really doesn't look right. See, here's what I'm talking about with the big hole in Starmon's face. That's the Star Sword in the Japanese version. You only get 4 Pikmon, you got this giant hole. And even when he holds the Star Blade, the thing is like almost the same size as Starmon is anyway. So when he's holding the Star Sword, you can't see Shoutmon. When this thing holds the Star Sword, it looks so accurate. So, aside from not having Cross 2 or the Dorulu Cannon option available to you, this thing beats the Japanese version by a long shot. So, why don't I have Blue Flare? Well, let's just say Metal Greymon didn't get lucky like Cross 4 over here did. Give me a second. Stay. Good Cross 4. Let me go ahead and show you this guy to demonstrate. Here is the Chibi Metal Greymon. Cute, isn't he? You know how Metal Greymon is set up for the season, right? He's got basically Malberdramon's chest plate, whatever, goes on Greymon's body. Okay. Well, seeing how Malberdramon's body doesn't like come in half, and you can hook the armor onto Greymon's chest to make the body, what you have to do is plug Malberdramon's chest into the neck hole of Greymon, and then plug the arm and the Greymon arm into the side and put the head on it. So you basically have feet, Greymon's body, Malberdramon's body, and he doesn't look anything like this. He's like he's slumping over. I don't have a good way to show it, but like I said, just picture Greymon's body, and then you plug Malberdramon's body into the neck hole. So it not only does it look, it's really tall, it's slumped over, but because of how Greymon's body's structured, it's kind of like fat, and then it goes up to the neck, and then it bumps back out. It looks like a weird hourglass figure thing. It looks terrible. The Japanese version doesn't look all that great either, but in comparison to ours, the Japanese version looks much better. This is actually the best Metal Greymon figure you'll get, aside from those 2 action ones, kind of like how Cross 4 has like a swiping motion, and Metal Greymon has like missile fire things. But those are just like little action figure things. If you want an actual decently sized Metal Greymon, go with that one. So the Blue Flare line got screwed, and I'm actually kind of afraid to see how Decker Greymon's going to turn out. But I'm actually really excited to see how Cross 5 looks. Like, I want Sparrowmon's figure right now so I can make Cross 5. It's going to look sweet, I have a feeling. I don't know if we're going to get Cross 4B, because I don't know how they can do it. I really don't know how they can do it. I don't even know if we're going to get a Billzamon toy. I know we'll get Sparrowmon at some point. Cross 5 is going to look real nice. And I hope this line continues. I may not get a Blue Flare figure until Zeke Greymon comes out, if the line goes that far, because the Japanese line never gave us anything from Death Generals onward. So we never got an Omega Shoutmon or a Zeke Greymon or anything. I hope our line continues on that far, because I really do like this line so far. It looks great. So I recommend Xros Heart. I don't recommend Blue Flare. If you want Blue Flare, go with the Japanese line. If you want Xros Heart, go with the English line. If you want Dark Nightmon, wait until we see what the English one looks like, because, I don't know, the English one may not beat the Japanese one, because the Japanese Dark Nightmon looks like a figure, like a D arts almost for a combinable figure. It looks like a D arts, which is really impressive. But I'm waiting to see what the English one looks like first. So Blue Flare gets a no. Xros Heart gets a big yes. So if you're even interested in these, or you like combinable figures, or like, Megazords or Mecha figures from Sentai and Power Rangers, this is a nice line to have. And it's not just strictly limited to what you could do here. You could take out Ballistamon's feet on the back of this and plug in Metal Greymon's wings if you wanted to. Stuff like that. It's like one of those make your own cross lines, but the line leans more towards you making crosses from the show. So, come here. If you like creativity, or you just like putting things together, or if you're like me and just fell in love with how Cross 4 turned out, get the Cross Heart half of this line. Do it. Like, I'm not joking. This thing is fantastic. And he will be standing right there behind the legendary morpher on all my reviews from now on, because that's where he's going to be. He's just that good looking. He is a bit flimsy joint-wise, but it's nothing too bad. He just looks too good for me to say no. He just looked way too good. So, there's that line. I might move you fathead, Doruma. He's just like, hi.